Welcome back to CBS Mornings. The past year has seen some dramatic swings in America's fight against COVID. After sharp increases in new cases last winter and over the summer, the daily total has dropped to less than 70,000 again. But while the numbers are trending in the right direction, one Oregon man who spent nearly a year in the hospital shows it can sometimes be very hard to recover from the disease. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, has his story. David, good morning. What a story.
Good morning. It's a raw story. Alex Castro got infected with COVID before there was a vaccine. His wife told us they didn't really take the virus seriously. They thought it was the regular old flu. Alex had one of the worst cases we have ever heard of, and he is now facing a long, slow, and uncertain road ahead. Alex Castro used to be able to swim, cook, and hike. But now it takes every breath he has and baby steps to just walk across his living room. He's just 44 years old and a shell of the man he used to be. COVID caused him heart failure and ravaged his kidneys and his lungs. He spent 299 days at Providence Portland Medical Center in Oregon. 108 of those days were spent on ECMO, which is a heart and lung bypass machine. I didn't know you could be on ECMO and be awake.
Yeah.
And walk.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Would they walk him like this every day?
It'd be like maybe, 3 days a week.
Alex's oldest son, AJ, showed us family videos of Alex walking in the hospital as blood was being pumped out of his body and then back into it, doing the work of his heart and lungs as he walked.
The healthcare workers and the nurses and the doctors all in the ICU they're godsend. They literally saved my dad's life.
Alex had the heart of a lion.
Levi Cole was one of the ICU nurses who cared for Alex.
He fought like an animal, and he made it out of here against every possible odd.
How does it make you feel to hear that?
Happy. Really happy.
We told Alex what else Levi said. The day they took him off of ECMO, I crawled in bed with him. I gave him a big hug.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Alex can't remember half of the time he was in the hospital, but boy, did he remember that. Oh. Levi said, I gave him a big hug, and we were both laughing. I had tears in my eyes with pure joy. We all dragged him across the finish line, but he did it himself. His reaction was the sweetest moment. In the 8 hours that we spent with Alex, his 4 children, and his wife Amanda at their home in Sandy, Oregon, we traveled there to see what life is like for him now.
I just turned up the amount of oxygen that he's getting through his nose.
20-year-old AJ is his dad's primary caretaker during the day. Alex is on oxygen around the clock, and his doctor told us he will be on it for the rest of his life. Even the smallest things take a lot out of him, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
Even, like, going to the bathroom, like, walking with a walker with me to the bathroom, he'll do pretty good, and then it'll just, like, literally just hit him out of nowhere. And it's just like he's super tired, he's out of breath, and we'll take a seat wherever he is just to catch his breath again.
One walk to the bathroom and about 10 simple exercises during occupational therapy really tired him out. So he took a nap. And pretty soon thereafter,
Hola! Hey.
It was physical therapy time.
So while you're standing here, can you try some knee bends? Breathe, breathe, breathe. Your oxygen level looks great.
Everyone's constantly watching his oxygen saturation level, which dropped to 73 when Alex did some pretty simple knee bends. 95 to 100 is considered normal.
Are you okay with heading over to the couch?
Yeah.
Okay.
His spirit seemed so strong. He said yes to everything they asked him to do, like walk across the living room, baby steps, and every breath he had.
Just standing on his feet is actually probably a better exercise than walking for him.
Yeah. Think about that. Just standing regularly is a goal for Alex. The man who worked 3 jobs to support his family is now dependent on all of them. His wife and his oldest daughter, Maddie, are now the breadwinners. Maddie manages the local Burger King that Alex used to manage. He loved to work, and he wants to do it again.
but it is unclear if he will ever be able to.
He's been out of the hospital 20 days now. There are notable improvements daily, and he is vaccinated, by the way. He got the shot in the hospital. His doctor told us he is likely going to need to get a lung transplant. You might be wondering, what's the hospital bill? I mean, 299 days in the hospital, how expensive is that? Well, the hospital did not want to tell us what the bill is, but they did say this: whatever Alex's insurance doesn't pay, they'll cover the rest. Tony.
Thank God.
Yeah, Jerry's here saying thank God, David. We were talking about that during the piece. How is the family going to pay these bills? Good to hear that they're not going to have to, although you do have questions. How are they doing financially if he used to have a job at the Burger King, now does not have any, going to be on oxygen the rest of his life, unclear when, if he'll work again?
Look, everybody's pitching in. I mean, you got the daughter running the Burger King, you got the son who's looking for a job, but is right now not working very hard to find the job because his dad needs some help. The other kids are going to school. Everybody's pinching pennies, but they're so thankful that he's home.
Yeah, I'm glad as well.
Yeah.
David, thank you very much.
You bet.